What are incidents and accidents? Incidents and accidents are essentially gaps within a safety management system that are coming to light. When we do not ensure a safe working environment as shown in Section 8 and 14 of the OHSS Act, we create an environment where incidents and accidents thrive. There are two main reasons for this: unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. Some examples of unsafe acts are working at unsafe speeds, working without authority, not using equipment correctly, not using safety devices correctly, not using lockouts, horseplay, or not using personal protective equipment correctly, and many more. Unsafe acts, often caused by human error, comes down to inefficiency or behavior. This is due to lack of knowledge, lack of skill, or both, physical or mental incompatibility, or the improper attitude or lack of motivation. Some examples of unsafe conditions are unsafe design or manufacture, poor planning or poor housekeeping, lack of guards or lockouts, inadequate guards, poor ergonomics, lack of pollution control, poor lighting, poor ventilation, lack of preventative maintenance, failure to identify hazards and issue PPE, and many more. Unsafe conditions create an unsafe physical environment as well as inadequate work standards. So why then do incidents and accidents happen? Let us have a look at a few incident prevention theories. In 1931, Bill Heinrich first presented an accident triangle to illustrate his theory of accident causation, showing that unsafe acts lead to accidents which largely result in minor injuries, but will eventually result in major injuries or fatalities. In 1969, Frank Bird Jr. undertook research for the Insurance Company of America, analyzing more than 1.75 million accident reports across almost 300 businesses. What did these two persons find out about the incident prevention theory? Let us have a deeper look. In 1931, Bill Heinrich first presented an accident triangle to illustrate his theory of accident causation, showing that unsafe acts lead to accidents which largely result in minor injuries, here referred to as 300 near misses, but will eventually result in major injuries or fatalities, rising up through to 29 minor injuries or 1 major injury. Here we can see that Bill Heinrich noted for every 300 near misses, these will result in 29 minor injuries to a person or persons, and then resulting in 1 major injury. Later on, in 1969, Frank Bird Jr. undertook research for the Insurance Company of America. He analyzed more than 1.75 million accidents reported across almost 300 businesses. These and later triangles, posted by Ty and Pearson in the 1970s, as well as the HSE in the 1990s, all show that the outcome of an unsafe event in the workplace will typically be a near miss, but that a proportion will result in minor injuries and a smaller proportion still will result in major injuries or fatalities. The theory is useful in promoting the reporting of incidents, near misses, and undesired circumstances. If the outcome of an event is largely dependent on luck, the lessons should be learned from the event and not the outcome. If incidents are reported and investigated and lessons are learned and improvements are made, the likelihood of a serious injury occurring should be greatly reduced. In other words, for every 600 incidents with no visible injury or loss, they will result in approximately 30 property damages. These will then result in 10 non-disabling injuries, resulting in one disabling injury. Thus, if we are focused on occupational health and safety and report the incidents and accidents that seemingly are insignificant, we can greatly reduce the non-disabling injuries, which will eventually reduce the number of disabling injuries in a company. This causation module is beautifully illustrated in Benjamin Franklin's words. For the want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For the want of a shoe, the horse was lost. And for the want of a horse, the rider was lost, being overtaken and slain by the enemy. All for the want of care about a horseshoe nail. Let us look now at a different incident prevention theory. These are domino theories of accident causation. These suggest that accidents result from a chain or sequential events like a line of dominoes falling over. When one of the domino falls, it triggers the next one and the next, eventually resulting in an accident and injury or other loss. Accident prevention strategies involve removing one of the dominoes from the chain to prevent the sequence progressing to the accident. In this domino theory of accident causation, the loss is here shown in column E on the right-hand side. The loss could be injury, illness, or property damage. The accident that comes right before is an accident arising out of and in the course of an employee's employment and resulting in personal injury, illness, or death. Now look at the direct cause, the agent of injury, such as the blade, the substance, or the dust that caused the accident. But there is an underlying cause. These could be unsafe acts, unsafe conditions, such as a guard was removed from a power tool. We do not stop here. There is always a root cause. In this case, the general management for planning or organizational failings, which would be failure to identify training needs and assess competence, thus leading to an employee performing an unsafe act by removing a guard from a power tool, or using a power tool without a guard. In this case, it would be an unsafe condition. This would then lead to the direct cause, which would lead to the accident and ultimately lead to the loss. Within the domino theory of accident causation, it suggests that accidents are a result from a chain of sequential events. When one domino falls, it triggers the next one, going from the root cause to the underlying to the direct, creating the accident and resulting in loss. Accident prevention strategies involve removing one of the dominoes from the chain to prevent the sequence progressing to the accident. Which domino would you remove? If you said that you would remove the root cause domino, then you are 100% correct. A good accident investigation will identify the sequence of events and conditions that led up to the adverse event and identify the immediate, underlying, and root causes. Accidents typically arise as a consequence of a combination of causes, so rather than a linear row of dominoes, it is better represented as a tree with multiple rows of dominoes coming together to cause the accident, as you can see in the picture on the left-hand side. There are numerous tools and techniques available for structuring the lines of injury in an investigation. Their suitability will depend on the complexity of the accident. In a simple example, the investigation works down from a top event, which describes the accident and injury working through the different rows of immediate, underlying, and root causes. Let us here look at the simple example of the investigation as it works down from the top event, here showing the apprentice severs 3 fingers on a bandsaw. This is the top event, the accident or the injury. Now let's work our way down, asking why did this occur? You will notice there are two answers, or two potential answers. These would give us the immediate cause. The guard was not properly set, or the guard was not properly set, either because of an unsafe condition or because of an unsafe act. Let us take a look at the unsafe act. This is represented in blue. Again, we ask, why was the guard not properly set? There could be three potential answers. The employee did not know how to properly set it. They didn't have the time to properly set it, or they couldn't be bothered to set it. These resulted in the immediate cause. However, by asking the question why, we will see the answer becomes an underlying cause. But we do not stop there. We move down to again asking the question, why did the employee not know? Why did the employee not have time? Or why could the employee not be bothered to do it? The root cause here could come down to lack of instruction, lack of training, or lack of supervision. It could come down to poor work planning or unrealistic targets. It could come down to poor culture or lack of positive behavior. The root causes mainly show that a management system is at fault, not the individual. Oftentimes, we find that no instruction, no training, or no supervision will create an underlying cause, resulting in immediate causes and resulting in incidents and accidents daily. Let us now move over to an unsafe condition. The apprentice severs 3 fingers on a bandsaw. This is the injury or accident. The immediate cause was that the guard was not properly set. Let's look for the underlying cause by asking, why was the guard not properly set? Because they were not paying attention, or because they were bumped. These are the underlying causes. Remember, we never stop there. We always want to look for the root cause. So why were they not paying attention, or why were they bumped? Again, it comes down to a management system. Lack of supervision, poor work planning, such as lack of breaks, or poor workshop layout, as well as lack of workshop ergonomics. So we can see here that the top event or injury and accident has numerous chains to the immediate causes, underlying causes, and finding the root cause can help us eradicate these incidents and accidents from occurring. Remember, the investigation and analysis of work-related accidents and incidents forms an essential part of the management of health and safety. Learning lessons from experience is critical to preventing future accidents and incidents. So carrying out an accident investigation provides a deeper understanding of the risks associated with work activities. Learning what went wrong enables improvements to risk control measures and management arrangements for supervision and monitoring.